Hey guys, RC here. Welcome back to episode 10 as we start our second season with Enfield Town. Could be our last season, but we'll get into that momentarily. So let's catch up a little bit. I wanted to kind of put the picture up here behind me. Let me fix my chair to get rid of the little corner right there. Yeah, there we go. So anyway, I put the screen up here. That way, yep, behind me. So you could see, what the club looks like in Football Manager, where we play, key players, yada, 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 our kits. Anyway, let's get into it because we've got a lot to cover. So we ended last season. We were picked originally to finish 9th position. We finished 3rd. We got the email at the end of the season that was the highest finish for Enfield Town in the history of the club. So all good, all good. We never had any discussion at all last season about finances because you remember I brought that up several times. And so the season ended. We went through the rest of June, July, contracts expired. And now we're here at August 3rd for the beginning of the season. There was never any mention until August 1st about finances. Yeah, and the board is not happy. They're actually disappointed, and that is a big drop. So we were at 55% all last season. They never said anything, never warned me. And of course, these 3 off months, that's when you're building your club for the next season, for the season that we're starting now. And they dropped this on me 2 days ago. So I'm not really happy with that. I think that's pretty shady on the board's part. But it is what it is. But being that is what it is, it could be our last season because I did spend some money. I didn't spend a lot. If we take a look, they gave us a $7,162 transfer budget. Now, remember, we were spending well over $200,000, so I've actually cut that significantly, about $26,000. But we're still about $20,000 over payroll. In fact, I'm going to make that adjustment. It's not going to help me any, but it is what it is. So let's take a look at the transfers and then we'll come back to this screen. So Lewis Taffy, his contract expired. Now all of those, and this was something I wasn't aware of. Again, playing a different level than I'm used to. His contract converted over to a non-contract, so he could stay with the club. Weymouth came in and picked him up on a free, and Sam Chaney took a contract offer from Gateshead. They were both on month-to-month contracts. So 2 guys that started a lot of games for us last year, a lot of matches, left. So what did we do? Well, we brought in George Kello on a free. He's a 21-year-old. He can play a lot of positions. And basically, I was looking for cheap guys that I could get on frees, guys that would not add to the payroll very much. So anyway, 21 years old, and he's not great. He's got some potential, but he can play striker. He can play wingers in a these mid wings in a pinch. So that's kind of what I was just looking to add depth. Judd Ellis we brought in from AFC Telford. He is a central mid. Now remember, in my tactics I play a lot of defensive mids, the Segundo Volante and the anchor. Hard to find that at this level, so we end up playing central mids that just have them drop back. Really good first touch, decent passing. He's got pace and acceleration, which is one of the key things I look for at this level. Basically, if we're not going to have more talent, we can just outrun other people, and that puts us at least in position to make some plays maybe. So he comes in central mid. Joshua Webb comes in from Kingstonian. Now, he can actually play defensive mid, and he can play left back. So first touch is pretty good. Tackling, marking, pace and acceleration, again, above average. Positioning, work rate, a lot of things that I like about him. So he's a guy that came in that I thought could help us out. Adam Ramadan comes in from Tunbridge on a free. Again, multi-positions. That's the other thing that at this level where you're constrained by finances, you've got to have players that can play 2 or 3 or even 4 positions. So if I ever go with wingers, he can play there. He can play left and right mid. So that helps out a lot because remember, Taffy played there. Matt Johnson was playing there. So, quite a few. Cheney played there. So a lot of guys that we lost really gutted us in the midfield. It was also a position that the players were whinging about that, hey, we're weak in the midfield. Matt Johnson led a player revolt. We had to end up having a player meeting with him. Billy Bricknell, of course, tag teamed on that event. And they were like, hey, we need to do this. So I said, look, and this was in the beginning of July, like the first week of July. And I was like, I'm looking into it. I've got to hit the market. Just a week later, they crashed, as far as, I can't trust you anymore. I've got to reevaluate my future with the club. I said, you gave me a freaking week. I said, it takes longer than that just to scout the players, let alone sign them. Jesus. So anyway, Adam Ramadan, pace, acceleration, agility, pretty good physicals, flair, leadership, decent work rate, dribbling, crossing, and first touch. So I like him I like his winger ability, and he could see a lot of playing time for us. Dean Rance came in on a free. He wasn't signed to anybody. Again, he can play that defensive mid a little bit as a segunda volante. Don't like long shots because we try to work it in, but he's got decent pace, acceleration, some pretty good mentals at this level. Penalty taking. That might be important because we had nobody last year that could take penalties, except for Billy, who I think choked on purpose. And a lot of what I'm saying, I don't know Billy Bricknell. I know he's the best player on the club in the game. That's all I know about him. So when I make these comments, they're in fun, they're in jest. Please don't take it seriously. I'm just this is a story generator. I mean, it's generating a story that is not reality. It's not real life. It's not the real Enfield Town, obviously. So, but I have to take what develops and go with those storylines. And the storylines are that he's a troublemaker in my locker room right now. And he's very expensive, which has got me in trouble with the board on finances. So anyway, so Dean Rance, I think he can do a job for us. Probably went a little overboard because I wasn't sure at the time I started signing these guys. You can see most of these were in June and early July. And I was thinking that when those contracts expired June 31st, that those guys were gone. So we only ended up losing Taffy and Cheney. We may still lose a couple of other guys. Callum Thompson comes over from the Grays. He's a left back, definitely a spot we needed to address. Marking, tackling is really good. Heading, he does have acceleration and pace. Crossing, so he's not going to be really great on the attack. So we may look at having to go more support there, but I really didn't have anybody of any caliber after Cheney left at left back. David Corsi Dewoof comes from Maidenhead on a loan. So this is when at this point, Callum was on a loan too. So when I got Rance, then we got to, into July, and I said, well, I've got a lot of guys on contracts, and now they're frees. Nobody's making big money, but they're, $300, $350 a match, whatever. But I said I still want some good depth and some quality players. Let me see who I can get on loan. So a lot of these guys are on loan. In fact, the rest of this batch. So Callum Thompson comes from Grays. We just went over him. Corsi Daewoo comes from Maidenhead. He's a left and a right back. Pacey, decent acceleration. Tackling is good. Everything else, I mean, he's going to be depth. That's all. So he's rotational at best. Brian Hull from Halesowen. And I hope I pronounce most of these names close to being right. I liked him. He could play all three back line positions. 6'2", so he can fit in at center back. Jumping reach, heading is not great, but he could fit in there if we need. And then he could also play left and right back as well. And he's, 5 is not great, but at this level, you take what you can get sometimes. Martin Box from Barnet on loan, another left back. Tackling's okay, pace, acceleration, he's going to be rotational at best. Jay Hards from Gillingham. Is it Gillingham or Gillingham? I'm going to say Gillingham. I think I heard Loki Doki say it that way the other day. He can play the central mid. He can also get up top. First touch is a 12. Passing is okay. He's got some pace and acceleration, so he's got some potential to fill a couple of positions for us. And Sam Smith from Swindon, central mid, good first touch, very good physicals, work rate. Technique's actually not bad. Passing and first touch are really good for him. So, those are guys to round out the club. Now, on a lot of these guys, we are paying, they're non-contracts, so they are getting paid by the game. They are limited in what they earn, but honestly, I had to break out my calculator and do a little math. So if you make $350 a match, that's roughly in the $13,000 to $18,000 per year, which is what some of my top guys outside of Billy are making. So anyway, it was at this point that I had made all these moves trying to fill gaps and improve the club. The board dropped the finance thing on me. So that was not good. So Asiana is probably gone. He's got a contract offer. Now, he may turn it down. He may turn it down. And we also went in and tried to release salary. Actually, Asiana I did release. No. It was, what's his name? Olo. I released him outright. So he's gone. That was $13,500. And that's one reason I had to get a few guys on the back line. Matt Johnson, I tried to release him. The board overruled it because we did end up renewing his contract from 13 to 19. That was as low as I could get him. I tried to get him on a non-contract. He wouldn't have it. So I tried to cut him. The board blocked it. I tried to then release Billy because that would be the biggest bang for the buck. The board blocked that. I tried to do a mutual, and the board blocked that as well. So the board wants me to get finances under control, but they won't let me cut these players to get their payroll off the books. And you can see we don't have anybody making money outside of those two guys. I mean, everybody else is on a per match contract. So that's all of our money. So anyway, let's get into it. Today's match. Oh, well, no, we need to get into competition. We're supposed to reach the third qualifying round of the FA Cup, second qualifying of the Build Base FA Trophy, and they don't care about the League Cup. The board wants us to finish in the top half of the league, but if we look at the season preview, we are picked to finish 12th. That's actually better because we were like 17 to 11 or something like that. It was a very weird number, but we're picked mid-table at best, and the board wants us to finish top half. And let's see. If we look at past positions. Oh, no, that's not going to tell me anything. League table. I'm trying. Looks like Barking is a new club. Burgess Hill, I don't recognize. Cheshunt? I don't know. I'm guessing that's Cheshunt. Just a guess. Eastbourne Borough. Haringey. That doesn't sound familiar. Malden and Tiptree. I don't remember seeing that one. Needham Market. I think those are the new clubs. So, anyway, let's get into it. We open this year with... Oh, take a look real quick at the friendlies. We beat the Grays 3-1. Goals from Cheney, Wilson, and Dean Rance, his debut with us. Now, Cheney, one of his last games. Tunbridge Wells, Brandon Adams, a hat trick. Cheney, a goal. Matt Johnson and Timmy Awika. Against Ware, Lewis Wilson and Grady Malinge got goals in the 2-0 win. Walton and Hersham, 2-2 draw. Martin Box, Brandon Adams with goals. And Newport. This was actually a pretty good draw for us. You know, that was probably the hardest team we played. They're League 2. And we got a 2-2 draw. Judd Ellis and Billy Bricknell scored. It was after this match coming into the season that I did get a notification from the club secretary that Billy had contacted the club secretary and wanted to put all the troubles of last season behind him and just wanted to move on with his game and with the club. And, was hopeful that I would forget everything. So we'll see how long that lasts. All right, so we're only going to have one match today because I'm already at 16 minutes going through the preseason stuff, and that's typical because there's a lot to catch up on. So let me know what you guys think of the moves. You probably know all of these players better than I do. Right now, they're just names. At least at the Premier and Championship, I watch those matches, and I've seen the names. But let's see. We're going to play Hornchurch tonight. Do remember we played Hornchurch, one of our last videos from last season, and they beat the snot out of us. So we're 1-1 all time against them last year. 287 tickets sold by the Hornchurch club, and we are favored. Now they're playing a straight 4-4-2. So we're gonna go. I'm gonna sit with. I'm gonna go with our 4-4-2 here. All right. So we're gonna have Kello. See, it's benched Bricknell. That's the scary thing. And he's not even on the bench. He is available. His issue is match conditioning. That's really weird. He's got a 10. See, I don't know why. Let's pick without restrictions. Okay, so that puts Bricknell up top. Okay, so there's something in my guidelines that are triggering that. And it's probably match condition. All right, so let's see who's new. Bricknell, Adams up top are the same. Frieder in the mid and Matt Johnson out wide right are the same. So we have Adam Ramadan on the left wing. And we have Joshua Webb in the defensive midfield position. We have Callum Thompson, left defender. Timmy Awika on the right-hand side. Malinge back in the middle, and McLean is also new, Ryan McLean. So two new people in the midfield, 3 new people on the back line. Joe Wright back in goal. I really don't have anybody to back him up. Carly is on our youth squad, and so he will not play very much. Joe actually got approached once again this offseason. He'll probably get approached several times but he again turned down that offer to stay with the club. So let's get to it. Yeah, we understand match sharpness. All right, well, my son's in the kitchen, so I'm sure he'll take care of that. All right, we encourage the team. Let's get to it. Gotta fix that corner again. Dang it. All right, ball goes out of play. And I want to shrink that and up that. There we go. All right, Ramadan. Bricknell lays it off to Webb. And he hoofs it up towards the box. Oh, my God. Who is that? McLean. Oh, Joe with a save. Purcell gets the rebound and puts it in. McLean just let that go. He had. Oh, look, he's got the advantage on Clifton, and he just stopped. And then who's this? Right there. Right, you. You. Who are you? Number 4. Why can't I click on you? Malinge. Yeah, I seem to recall him letting in a lot of goals last year. All right, we're going to demand more. We're focused. All right, come on, boys. All right, Thompson, Bricknell. Well, he's not being any more careful with the ball. Oh, good tackle. We got lucky because I thought Purcell could make a run on that ball. And he would have been on a breakaway. All right, Awika. Adams, Frieder. They just cannot get it over that center back. Come on, boys. All right, Awika up to Johnson. Oh, Johnson finds Adams with a nice through ball. Oh, Bricknell could not get clear for a cross, forcing Adams to take the shot. Oh, that was a bad pass going out of play. Oh, there's the header. Brandon Adams gets our first goal of the season off of a corner. Set piece goal. Matt Johnson with the assist. Oh, Adams went up with, reverse header. Oh, that's got to be in the running for goal of the season. Duh, it's the only one. Hopefully we score more than one goal this year. All right, let's give him some encouragement now. Joe Wright's getting complacent, as is Billy Bricknell. All right, another set piece. Johnson into the mixer. Oh, good save by Hill. He laid out for that. It would be really nice to get 3 points to get started in the campaign. You're always kind of leery once you see Adams. Oh, Adams with the nice touch, and that's a brace here in the first half. Matt Johnson with the assist on that one. Very nice. So that's a huge goal, getting that right before the half. So we end up 10-2 on the advantage on shots, possession advantage. 4 total chances to 2. Liking that. Appreciate the efforts. 2-1. So if you guys have been watching any of the videos, you know we're fostering this group of kittens, or 5 of them. Well, I think we bid farewell to 3 of them today. The 2 girls were spayed about 6 weeks ago, and we're actually just waiting on the foster group to tell us they have room for them to bring them in. But the boys have been neglected. Oh, that goes wide. Oh, he's clapping for it, though. I took a shot. Yeah, let's go ahead and look at some subs, possibly. Matt Johnson with 2 assists. Mid. Let's bring Kello in. It is out of position, I understand, but you make do with what you got. If I bring... No, can't do that. Defensive left, defensive center. Let's bring Asiana in for Malinge. See if that'll solidify our back line a little bit. Anyway, so the 3 boys go in today to be neutered, and I believe she's going to keep them, is my understanding. So that's why I'm actually recording this before work, because I had to wake up and tell the cats bye and start getting them ready and everything. All right, we've got a couple of guys that need to be rotated out, but I've only got 1 left. Let's go ahead and bring let's bring Martin Box in for Callum Thompson. Keep Callum a little rested, and we want to give them a concentrate. 3 minutes of stoppage time. Come on, boys. Blow the whistle. There it is. 3 points to start the season. That is huge. 20-4 advantage on shots. We did take 7 long shots. Hopefully we can rectify that. Good first match of the season. Very happy with that. And vintage display. Timmy Awika makes his official debut. Adams shines. We will praise him. Of course, Adams is gone in real life. He actually left about a week and a half ago from when I'm recording this. So that's interesting. But glad he's on the club right now. So we move up to 6th position. +1 on the goal differential. Whitehawk looks very threatening. And wow, they've got a small club. Wow. Just out of curiosity, yeah. I think that is something else that I have to do. I've got to shrink my club. Because if we look at my squad, I've got a full roster. So, these other clubs, maybe that's the blueprint. So, do this for me. Let me know what you think of the first match. Let me know what you think of our new signings. Anybody that we've lost, what you think about that. Taffy, I was really disappointed to lose. He was one of the guys that I kind of liked a lot in the first season, that I gravitated to immediately. But, it is what it is. That's one thing they tell me, they say about the game at this level: you cannot get attached to players because, there's a lot of rotation and a lot of movement in and out. So, but here's what I need, because I really do think this is going to be my last season. My goal is to play Enfield Town as long as we can until I'm fired, basically. But with the finances, I believe that's going to be sooner rather than later. And if we struggle at all, and I'm talking at all, that we fall below that mid-table spot, I think they're going to cut me loose. So if that happens, where do we go? I mean, I'm going to start thinking about it, but I'm interested in some input, because I know a lot of the new subscribers are from Enfield Town, and certainly welcome you guys and hope you stick around in the future as well. But let me know what you think we should look at doing moving forward. So the Isthmiun League is level 7, I believe, is what it is. Possibly level 8, but I think it's level 7. So there is that database that came out, the one I'm using currently. There's another database that's come out all the way down to level 10. And then he's also working on extending that down to level 22. So that would be clubs that I've never heard of at that level. But let me know, you plan for the best and you prepare for the worst. So planning is that we're going to be okay, and I can continue to tweak the club. And what would be good to have happen actually would be clubs to come in and take some of our players and then not replace them. That would be the first thing that we would hope for. But then would be that we win enough to buy us another season, and then be a little more lax in signing players for next year. That would be, it's an ongoing process. So let me know what you guys think. But, what should we, in the preparing for the worst, of course, would be to have the board come in and sack me. So if that does happen, then, I've got to have something else. I'll have another save that I'll need to start working on. So let me know what you think about that. Is there any particular clubs, any particular scenarios that I should be going for or looking at, and something that you might be interested in seeing. And I'll take those all under advisement. At the end of the day, I'm going to do what I want to do, because that's how my channel rolls, because I'm playing the games for fun, and I'm sharing it with you. But I'm always interested to see, because you may have an idea and I'll be like, oh, that's brilliant. Kind of like I'm doing that RimWorld Sea Ice Challenge. I never would have thought about that. I've never played in the tundra or the sea ice area. I had no idea you could even survive out there doing that, and I haven't done a very good job, but it's been fun to play it. So, by seeing or hearing from someone else, hey, this is something to do, and I'll go, oh, okay, well, I'll try that, let me give that a shot, and I've really enjoyed it. So give me some thoughts in the comments about what any ideas you guys might have, clubs to manage, leagues to manage in, countries to manage in, scenario type thing. Stick with a club, move, get with a club, and then get promoted, get hired by higher clubs. We can always go back and do another journeyman save. Those are always fun, but that may be the logical route to go, is start with a team in League 1 or 2, and then try to get promoted up, eventually to becoming a premiership manager or whatever you may have. So anyway, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, all those things that you can do with when you're watching. Everything helps, so much appreciated. We're 1-0. We've got a win under our belt. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye.